Twin Tiers Evening News with Jeff Androlonis and Alexa Olson. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, WVTT proudly presents Twin Tiers Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Alexa Olson. Jeff Androlonis is off for this week. The big story on Twin Tiers Evening News tonight. A scary situation in Las Vegas, Nevada. 3 people are dead and at least 3 more injured after a shooting and fiery crash on the Las Vegas Strip. Police say someone in a black Range Rover opened fire on a Maserati sitting at a stoplight earlier today, killing the driver and wounding the passenger. The Maserati then crashed into a taxi and 4 other cars. The taxi burst into flames and the cab driver and passenger were killed. Police say the SUV left the scene. At least 3 people were taken to the hospital with injuries. A newly formed group of firearms advocates plans to rally at Lincoln Park in Olean this Saturday. The Coalition for the Preservation of the Second Amendment is organizing a rally to voice its opposition to the state's new gun control law and give officials an opportunity to voice their views on gun legislation. 2 more rallies will be held in nearby Warren and Chautauqua counties. The Olean man whose dog was found hanging from a bridge in Hinsdale this past summer will pay a fine and serve community service. According to court documents, John Bird's dog's leash had been tied to the guardrail of the bridge. He was charged with animal cruelty and issued a fine. A Gowanda man was arrested on Wednesday after he shot a BB gun at a snowplow driver. According to police, Thomas Barone was angry about the way his sidewalk was plowed, so he shot the snowplow driver with a BB gun from the front door of his home. The BB broke the glass and sent shards into the driver's face. Barone is in Cattaraugus County Jail in lieu of $3,000 bail. The snowplow driver returned to work after the incident. A Bradford woman is facing drug charges after a bust by the McKean County Drug Task Force. 29-year-old Jennifer Dinch appeared before a district judge on stolen property and possession of charges. Police say that her arrest was related to the case against Demario Watts, who was arrested for marijuana possession and illegal possession of a firearm. Watts and Dinch live at the same residence. Dinch was sent to McKean County Jail in lieu of $20,000 bail. People wanting to enjoy the great outdoors in New York State might be able to do that a little easier now. Governor Andrew Cuomo has proposed legislation that would decrease the price of hunting and fishing licenses and also make the process faster. Now, the proposal would lesser the fees for hunters and fishers under the 2013-2014 executive budget. It would also allow fishers to fish all year long, no matter where the license was purchased, and big game and small game licenses would be consolidated into one. Cuomo says hunting and fishing is big business in New York, and the discounted rates will encourage more of it. Well, a New Jersey family hopes to rise above any future flooding caused by Mother Nature. Their home was damaged by Superstorm Sandy, so the family is raising their home 12 feet to hopefully make sure that never happens again. Carla Bardinas shows us what is involved.
I'm excited to get back in the house. I can't wait to see it go up and not worry about nor'easters, hurricanes, or any kind of flooding.
Carol and Hank Morelli and their 2 children watched in awe as this construction crew from Pennsylvania prepared to hoist up their home on Center Street, a home they haven't lived in since Sandy. Hank tells us his father is helping them cover the cost so they don't have to wait for insurance and aid.
There's no words to describe. There's no words. I am very lucky.
First, workers got out their shovels to dig around the foundation. They soon traded them for sledgehammers to knock out some bricks. Then the dirty job under the house started. They had to dig out enough space to put up these wood supports. Sean and Heather took off from school to witness this milestone. They can't wait to leave their rental and come back home.
I don't know, it's just like the only place I can really get comfortable and actually enjoy it.
Once the wooden beams were up in groupings, these metal jacks were connected to them. Then 6 hours or so into the job, workers slid these long steel beams underneath. A very labor-intensive process, but Carol says moving was not an option.
We love it here. I love the town. I love the people. and we just love it. We're by the ocean, and I just want to stay. We like it.
Well, it wasn't a beefy meeting, but Cattaraugus County Legislature met last night in a work session as they passed a few resolutions. County Legislator John Padlow gave WVTT a rundown.
All authorizing the chair to do the following. Enter into an agreement with Buffalo and Pittsburgh Railroad for an Ashford Bridge crossing. Also, to enter an agreement with a utility easement with Niagara Mohawk for overhead electric facilities along County Road 14, to approve with various entities a provision of services funded through community transferring a contract with the Cattaraugus Allegheny Boces Department of Nursing to do for their nursing students to do field work. And finally, our Cattaraugus County travel policy was amended.
And Salamanca City Council passed their budget last night in a 4-1 vote. The public had their chance to weigh in on the $6.6 million spending plan, which includes a tax increase. The budget also anticipates $2.5 million in New York State funding. Well, an inspiring story from right here in the Twin Tiers to bring you tonight. WVTT's Valerie Tysander brings us a story of one man's struggle that turned into a life-changing event. Take a look.
Looking at him now, it's hard to believe Justin Willoughby used to weigh 800 pounds.
The doctor told me I had to do something about it or I'll eventually gonna die. It puts life into perspective. Either you're gonna die or you can live by trying to do something about what you are right now.
Doing it all without any dietary drugs, supplements, or surgery. He says his weight issues stemmed from teenage insecurities.
I would just sit there a lot. I'd be afraid to move because I was afraid I was gonna die and have a heart attack. And on top of not moving, I was addicted to food. And being addicted to food on top of not moving, what's gonna happen? You're gonna gain weight.
And finally, it got to a point where Justin was taken to the hospital in an ambulance and told something had to change.
It sunk in, and you realize life is very precious. Life goes very quick, and you don't always realize how much time you have. We don't know. But knowing that you had a limited time when the doctor told you, it kind of scares you.
So Justin mustered his willpower.
I would stand up out of my bed for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds, my legs would start hurting. I could just feel the muscles tense up, and I could feel the pain and starting to get weak. My legs were shaking, and I had to sit back down.
And decided to take the road to health one step at a time.
I didn't run a marathon the first time I stood up. I mean, I started just walking in Walmart. You know, I went around Walmart. It was a big enough store to where, okay, I can get 1,000 or 2,000 steps in a day.
It was a slow and sometimes painful journey. 8 years later, he's starting his own business as a health consultant.
It wasn't easy. It was, like I said, a long process to recovery, but it happened, and I'm here today standing in front of you as an example of like a person who's lost 600 pounds.
Valerie Tysander, News Channel 25, WVTT.
Our thanks to WVTT's Valerie Tysander for that report. I think it inspires all of us to live a healthier lifestyle. And a virtual academy in Smethport is set to go live for the next school year. The IU9 has built an academy designed to provide online classes that are currently not available at the school district. Well, we have a lot more local news coming up. Keep it here on your local news station, WVTT News Channel 25.